How would you define self-mastery and the uniqueness of the Shaolin path as a distinct way up the mountain, so to speak?
Okay. So maybe I have to jump a little bit back into the past in order to build a little bit this framework. This framework, why do I think it's important? If somebody would see this podcast like right now and looks at me. So I do assume there is a lot of projection, okay? He's Asian dressed, he has a shaved head. Yeah, he talks about all this spirituality and about knowing yourself. So apparently he has never worked outside in the world with the normal problems that we all have. That's why he can be somewhere at his temple or hide inside the mountains or in the forest in order to reflect upon life. Well, first of all, that is a projection. It is not what I am. And therefore, jumping back a little bit, my journey started like the journey of many other people as well, meaning I had parents that came as refugees from Vietnam to Europe, because in Vietnam they were running away from the regime and of the consequences of war that time, with the idea of finding safety and stability in a foreign country. So now already it's like important to acknowledge. So you have two human beings, my father and my mother, running away from their home country in order to look for safety in a foreign country. So this idea of safety was very, very deep embedded into the mindset of my parents. Therefore, their focus in educating me and my brother was based upon no matter what you do, first of all, the important part is do your education, go to school, qualify yourself, get a proper job, earn some proper money, and this financial wealth is going to give you some stability. So that was the idea of my parents. Therefore, I went the whole academic system until I studied 2 times also for the sake of my parents. Nevertheless, with the age of 4, simultaneously, I got acquainted for the first time in my life with what is known nowadays as Shaolin Kung Fu. So meaning the practice of the martial arts. So growing up now, as a boy, as a child, as a teenager, growing up, I always had like 2 areas in my life. Academic education, and then also training myself, training the body, training the martial arts. And already having like all the stress and all the pressure of you need to deliver good grades, you need to be good at school, yeah. Of course, it puts me under pressure. And so sometimes this pressure, I just felt very, very naturally. I was looking forward, going into the training and releasing some of the energy that just like starts to build up during normal life. And now a little bigger jump after finishing my studies now, when the time has come where I had to actually decide what am I going to do for my living, let's say. I was just thinking, okay, what is it that I can do the best? What is it that I feel like this world needs and that I can, in a way, provide? And more than having the knowledge from the school and then studying, more than this type of knowledge, was actually the knowledge and the experience that I had in the field of martial arts. And also meaning to actually know how to train, regulate, adjust myself, and just have some good knowledge about myself. And this all was happening now in Germany, in Europe. Meaning, I grew up seeing how the market, how the business world is developing. What is it that is concerning for the people? And more, that was the time where burnout was such a big topic. And I just felt like, okay. If the people would just know about the possibilities of using your body literally as a medicine in order to take some effect on the psyche, on the mental states, they would probably be less stressed and would be able to deal better with their life, whatever they are doing. So, and this was the starting point where I started founding the Shaolin Temple Europe with the idea of just spreading simple practices. You don't need to be a martial artist. You don't need to go into a temple. You can just do some basic exercises to get more movement into your daily life. That is what actually kicked off everything. And then now, jumping more far together with the COVID times, with all the restrictions, everybody was at home. You were not allowed to travel anywhere. So this is then suddenly where all the online teachings and what I was sharing 5-6 years prior to that started to somehow being spread in the world. And then everything just went its course. Yeah. And meanwhile, it's mostly like this, that when I'm invited somewhere, that primarily I start sharing something by words, but actually the field of where I was coming from was simply the field of martial arts.